Captain Jeho Park stood at the main window of the HS Horizon, watching the strange alien ship approach. It was beautiful, shaped like a silver leaf, and 3 times bigger than his vessel. After 50 years of space travel, humans had finally met another civilization. "Captain, they're sending a transmission," said Lieutenant Du-Yun Choi from his control station. His fingers moved quickly across the screen as he worked to translate the alien message. Jai-Ho straightened his uniform. He had practiced this moment many times, but now it felt different. "Real. Put it on the main screen," he ordered. The alien that appeared looked almost like a tall human made of crystal. Light seemed to shine from inside its body. Its voice came through the translator in a smooth musical tone. "Greetings, primitive ones. I am High Observer Val of the Celestial Concordat. We have been watching your species' clumsy attempts at space travel with some amusement." Jai-Ho kept his face calm, though he didn't like the alien's tone. "Welcome, High Observer. I am Captain Jai-Ho Park of the human spaceship Horizon. We are honored to make first contact with your civilization." The crystal being made a sound like tinkling bells, probably laughter. "How polite you are, for such a young species. Tell me, Captain, how did you achieve space travel so quickly? Most races take at least another 1,000 years to reach this stage." "We are quick learners," Jai-Ho said simply. He didn't mention the advanced engines hidden behind the Horizon's simple exterior, or the defensive systems that were far better than what they showed. Val moved closer to their camera. "Indeed, perhaps too quick. The Concordat has rules about species developing faster than they should. For your own safety, of course." First Officer Sun Mei stepped forward. "With respect, High Observer, we can manage our own development. We only wish to peacefully explore and trade." "Of course you do," Val said in a tone that parents use with small children. "But the galaxy is a dangerous place. You need our guidance." Jai-Ho noticed his crew getting angry at the alien's words. He gave them a warning look. Humanity had agreed long ago to appear weaker than they were. It was safer that way, for everyone. "We welcome friendly advice," Jai-Ho said carefully. "But please understand that humans value their independence. We prefer to make our own choices, even if we sometimes make mistakes." Val's crystalline form sparkled with more bell-like laughter. "How charming, but unnecessary. The Concordat will help guide your species, whether you wish it or not. It is our duty to manage younger races." Jai-Ho felt a chill at these words. This was exactly what Earth's leaders had feared. He pressed a hidden button under his sleeve, sending an encoded warning back to Earth. "High Observer," he said calmly, "I hope you'll reconsider that approach. Humans don't respond well to being controlled. We're asking politely. Please don't try to force us." "Are you threatening the Celestial Concordat?" Val's voice turned sharp. "A primitive species that barely understands faster than light travel." Jai-Ho smiled slightly. "Not a threat, High Observer. Just a friendly warning. Humans have a saying. Please don't make us mad. We say it because we prefer solving problems peacefully." "How amusing," Val said. "The Concordat has guided thousands of young species. Your warnings mean nothing to us. Prepare your ship for inspection. We will begin evaluating your species' development level immediately." As the transmission ended, Jai-Ho looked at his crew. They all knew what this meant. Humanity had hoped for peaceful first contact, but they had prepared for the alternative. "Send the second encoded message to Earth," he ordered quietly. Code phrase: Sleeping Giant. As Du-Yun sent the message, Jai-Ho watched the alien ship growing larger in their view screen. He hoped the Concordat would listen to their polite warnings, but based on human history, he doubted it. The universe was about to learn why humans always asked nicely first. Senior Ambassador Hae-Nul Kim sat in the grand meeting hall of the Celestial Concordat's central station. The walls sparkled with living crystal, but she kept her eyes on the 7 alien representatives seated above her. They had been talking for 6 hours, and her patience was wearing thin. Once again, Hae-Nul said calmly, Humanity must decline your offer to manage our development. We appreciate your concern, but we will continue to grow at our own pace. High Chancellor Rel, who looked like a tower of blue crystal, leaned forward. You misunderstand, Ambassador. This is not an offer. The Concordat has protected younger species for 10,000 years. We know what is best. Haenul took a deep breath. Next to her, Lieutenant Du Yun Choi quietly recorded everything in his datapad. They had both noticed how the aliens kept avoiding their questions about these protected species. Chancellor, Haenul said, "On Earth, we have a saying. Those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. Before you make decisions about humanity, you should study our past." "We have reviewed your primitive history," another alien said dismissively. "Many wars, much violence. This proves you need our guidance." Do Yun spoke up suddenly. "Excuse me, but may I ask about the Nexus species? Our scans show their home system is empty now." The alien shifted uncomfortably. Haenul noticed this and pressed further. "Yes, what happened to them? They were under your protection, weren't they?" The Nexus species proved uncooperative, High Chancellor Rel said coldly. "They refused our guidance. Sadly, their system suffered an accident. A terrible loss." Haenul felt her blood run cold. She looked at Du Yun, who nodded slightly. Just as they had feared, the Concordat eliminated species who didn't obey them. "Chancellor," Haenul said, her voice carrying a new edge, "humanity has been polite. We have asked nicely to be left alone. I am warning you one final time. Do not try to control us." The alien council erupted in bell-like laughter. "You dare threaten us?" Chancellor Rel's voice turned harsh. "We who have ruled the galaxy for millennia. Perhaps humans need a similar lesson to the Nexus species." Haenul stood up slowly. All the warmth had left her face. "No, Chancellor. You need a lesson in human history. Do you know why Earth has had so many wars? Because every time someone tried to rule over others by force, humans fought back. And we learned from every fight." "Your primitive weapons cannot harm us," another alien scoffed. "The weapons you've seen cannot harm you," Haenul corrected. "Those are just what we choose to show. Like I said, study our history. Humans always ask nicely first. We give warnings. We try to avoid conflict, not because we're weak, but because we know how dangerous we can be when pushed too far." She gathered her papers while the aliens stared in silence. "I have one last meeting with my government. Think carefully about your next actions, Chancellor. Humanity doesn't want war, but we're very, very good at it." As Haenul and Du Yun walked out, he whispered, "They're not going to listen, are they?" "No," she said quietly. "They're too used to being obeyed. Send the message to Earth Defense Command." Code phrase, "Sleeping giant stirring." Behind them, the crystal walls chimed with alien laughter, not knowing they were about to wake a force they couldn't control. Colony Administrator Sun Medley watched the alien ships circling New Hope Colony like hungry wolves. This was the third time this week they had disrupted supply shipments, claiming they needed to inspect everything for restricted technology. Another transport turned back, her assistant reported. The Concordat ships threatened to shoot if they came closer. Sun Li nodded slowly, keeping her anger in check. "Send the footage to Earth. Add it to the growing list of harassment incidents." The colony's main screen lit up with an incoming call from Earth. Ambassador Haenul Kim's tired face appeared. "Administrator Lee, how bad is it?" "Bad," Sun Mai replied. "They're blocking medical supplies now. We have children who need those medicines." Haenul's expression darkened. "It's the same at all colonies. The Concordat claims it's protecting us from dangerous advancement. They've declared a full quarantine on Earth itself." "Protecting us?" Sun Mai laughed bitterly. "They let a Concordat mining ship land yesterday. They're stealing our resources while claiming to protect us." The building shook as another alien ship passed too close overhead. Sun Mai looked up at the ceiling. then back at the screen. The colonists are getting angry. Hey, Newell. I can't keep them calm much longer. I know. Admiral Kang is. Hey, Newell paused as another voice spoke off-screen. Her face went pale. Sun Mei, are you alone? Sun Mei checked the room and nodded. The Concordat just destroyed the medical transport heading to Europa colony. They claim it was carrying weapons. Hey, Newell's voice was tight with anger. 300 people were on board. Sun Mei felt her hands shake. She gripped her desk to stay steady. They killed them. Just like that. Yes, Admiral Kang is implementing Protocol Omega. Get your people to the shelters. Now. The deep shelters, Sun Mei asked quietly. The ones hidden beneath the normal emergency bunkers. The ones the Concordat didn't know about. Yes, you have 1 hour. The sleeper has awakened. Hey, Newell ended the transmission. Sun Mei pressed a button under her desk. Throughout the colony, hidden speakers came to life. This is Administrator Lee. Execute Operation Bedtime. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. All across the colony, people began calmly walking to the public shelters. The Concordat ships above probably thought they were scared. They didn't notice that many colonists were smiling grimly. In her office, Sun Mei opened a hidden panel in the wall. Inside was a sleek black uniform, very different from her simple administrator's clothes. As she changed, she remembered her military training. The aliens thought she was just a civilian administrator. They were wrong about that, just like they were wrong about so many things. Her computer chimed. The screen showed a message from Earth Defense Command. The giant wakes. All forces, execute Protocol Omega. Authorization. Admiral Kang. May God have mercy on them, because we won't. Through her window, Sun Mei saw the Concordat ships still circling arrogantly overhead. They had no idea what was about to happen. Humans had asked nicely. They had warned politely. They had tried to avoid conflict. But the Concordat had chosen violence. Now they would learn why every human child was taught an ancient saying, beware the fury of a patient man. Sun Mei smiled as she felt the ground rumble. Deep beneath the colony, hidden weapons were powering up. The giant was awake, and it was very, very angry. Admiral Taiwan Kang stood in Earth's hidden command center, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. The massive screen before him showed the wreckage of the medical transport, still burning in space near Europa colony. 300 innocent lives ended because the Concordat thought they could do whatever they wanted. Play the last transmission from the transport, he ordered quietly. The room filled with Captain Harem's final words. This is the medical transport Dawn Light. We carry only medicines and children's supplies. Please, we have families aboard. The message ended in static. Sir, his communications officer reported, the Concordat has sent their response to our protest. They say the destruction was unfortunate but necessary to maintain their protective quarantine. Taiwan closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, they were hard as steel. Send this message to all human forces. The sleeping giant now wakes. Around him, the command center transformed. Hidden panels slid away, revealing advanced technology that had been concealed for years. The simple screens were replaced by holographic displays, showing Earth's true military strength. Signal from Colony Administrator Lee. Sir, the officer said. All civilians are in the deep shelters. Colony defense systems are ready. Taiwan nodded. And Ambassador Kim. Safely away from the Concordat station. Her ship reports ready. The Admiral pressed a button on his command chair. His voice echoed through every human settlement and ship in the solar system. Attention all forces. This is Admiral Kang. The Concordat has chosen violence despite our warnings. They believe they see all of humanity's strength. They are wrong. He paused, looking at the image of the destroyed medical ship. We tried peace. We asked politely. We warned them clearly. They chose not to listen. Now they will learn why humans always try to solve things peacefully first. On his screen, icons began lighting up across the solar system. Hidden weapon platforms emerged from beneath colony surfaces. Cloaked defense satellites appeared in orbit. Ships that the Concordat thought were simple freighters transformed, revealing their true military nature. To the Concordat forces, now threatening our worlds, Taiwan continued, his voice cold. You have one chance to withdraw. One chance to avoid what comes next. We will give you something you never gave others. A choice. The Concordat's response came quickly, filled with the same arrogant tone. You dare to threaten us. Your primitive weapons cannot harm our superior technology. Submit to quarantine or be destroyed like the transport. Taiwan sighed. Very well. You had your chance. He looked at his tactical officer. Signal all forces. Begin Operation Giant's Wake. Show them what humanity has been hiding. Across the solar system, humanity's true face was revealed. The simple colony structures split open, revealing advanced defense systems. Ships that appeared weak and primitive suddenly shimmered, their disguise fields dropping to show vessels bristling with weapons the Concordat had never seen. In orbit around Earth, massive platforms emerged from their hiding spots in the asteroid belt. The Concordat ships suddenly found themselves surrounded by technology far beyond what they thought humans possessed. Send one final message, Taiwan ordered. Tell them, you were warned. Now face the consequences of ignoring humanity's polite requests. The sleeping giant had awakened, and it was time for the galaxy to learn why humans always ask nicely first. Commander Jin Ayun watched from her bridge as the Concordat fleet approached Earth. Their crystal ships glowed with energy, preparing to punish the humans for their defiance. They had no idea they were flying into a trap. All ships report ready, Commander, her tactical officer said. Hidden fleet is in position. Jin A nodded. The Concordat could see her small group of ships ahead of them. What they couldn't see was the real human fleet, hidden behind advanced cloaking technology that the aliens thought impossible for primitive humans. Send to all ships, she ordered. Execute Battle Plan Awakening. The space around Earth suddenly changed. Where there had been empty void, dozens of powerful warships appeared. The simple defense platforms around the colonies transformed, revealing weapon systems far beyond what the Concordat believed humans could build. The alien commander's voice came through, showing fear for the first time. What is this deception? Your species cannot have such technology. We warned you, Jin A replied calmly. We asked you nicely to leave us alone. Now you learn why. She pressed a button on her command chair. Her ship, which had appeared to be a simple patrol vessel, shimmered and changed. Its true form was sleek and powerful, covered in armor that could absorb energy weapons. All ships, begin the demonstration, she ordered. The human fleet moved with perfect coordination. Their weapons were not the simple lasers and missiles the Concordat had seen before. Instead, they fired streams of dark energy that passed right through the alien shields. Impossible, the alien commander shouted as his ship's crystals began to crack. Your weapons cannot bypass our defenses. The weapons you knew about couldn't, Jin A agreed. These are what we kept hidden. Humanity has been preparing for this day for a long time. Around Earth, more surprises appeared. Giant defense platforms emerged from hidden locations in the asteroid belt. Special satellites activated, creating an energy web that trapped the Concordat ships in place. Commander, her tactical officer reported, the alien fleet is trapped. Their weapons have no effect on our real shields. Jin A stood up, her voice carrying to all channels. To all Concordat forces, you killed innocent people. You threatened our worlds. You ignored our warnings. Now you face the consequences. The human fleet moved in perfect formation, their dark energy weapons systematically disabling the crystal ships. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons were useless against humanity's true technology. How? The alien commander demanded as his ship's crystals cracked further. You were primitive. We monitored your development. No, Jin A corrected him. You saw what we wanted you to see. Humans learned long ago to hide their strength. We remembered our own history, how stronger powers often tried to control those they thought weaker. The battle was already over. The mighty Concordat fleet hung helpless in space, their crystal ships darkened and cracked. Not a single human ship was lost. Jin-A sent one final message to the defeated aliens. You thought you were teaching us, but you needed to learn something instead. Why humans always try to solve things peacefully first. Because when we stop being peaceful, we are far more dangerous than you can imagine. As she looked at the disabled alien fleet, Jin-A knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy was about to learn many more lessons about humanity's true nature. Special Agent Min Ho-Buk walked through the captured Concordat command station, his footsteps echoing in the crystal halls. The station's walls no longer glowed with their usual light. Instead, they reflected his dark uniform as he made his way to the central archives. Security systems are disabled, his assistant reported through his earpiece. You have full access to their records. Min Ho placed his hand on the crystal control panel. Human technology interfaced smoothly with the alien systems, another capability they had hidden from the Concordat. The archives opened before him, revealing thousands of years of the alien secrets. Let's see what they've been hiding, he said softly, beginning to search through the files. Hours passed as Min Ho uncovered the truth. The Concordat had destroyed 17 species that refused to obey them. They had enslaved 32 others, all in the name of protection and guidance. But something else in the files caught his attention. Command, are you seeing this? He asked, forwarding the data. The Concordat's first contact with humanity wasn't an accident. They were drawn to us because they detected unusual energy readings from Earth. Admiral Kang's voice came through his earpiece. What kind of readings? They detected the energy from our hidden technology, but they misunderstood what they were seeing. Min Ho opened more files. They thought the energy showed we were developing too quickly. They never realized we were deliberately holding ourselves back. The Admiral was quiet for a moment. Send everything you find about their other victims. Maybe we can help those species who survived. Min Ho continued searching, but his mind wandered to Earth's history. Humans had developed their advanced technology centuries ago. They could have conquered their own world easily. Instead, they chose a different path. Sir, he said to Admiral Kang, I found something else. The Concordat has records of watching Earth for 300 years. They saw our wars, our conflicts, but they completely misunderstood what they were seeing. What do you mean? Min Ho pulled up an old Earth history file on his tablet, comparing it to the Concordat's records. They saw our weapons getting more powerful, but also saw us using older, simpler technology most of the time. They thought we couldn't advance further. They didn't realize we were choosing not to. He sent more files to command. Every time humans developed a new weapon, we also developed strict rules about using it. We didn't advance slowly. We advanced carefully. We were afraid of becoming exactly what the Concordat turned into. Tyrants who used their power to control others. The Admiral's voice was thoughtful, and that's why we hid our true capabilities. Not from fear, but from responsibility. Yes, sir. Min Ho opened the last set of files. The Concordat saw our restraint as weakness. They never understood that the most dangerous species in the galaxy were the ones wise enough to know when not to use their power. As he finished downloading the archives, Min Ho thought about the irony. The Concordat had claimed to protect younger species from developing too quickly, but humans had already learned the lesson the Concordat never did. Great power required even greater responsibility. Command, he reported, I found locations of all surviving enslaved species. Should I forward them to Ambassador Kim? Do it, Admiral Kang ordered. It's time to show the galaxy what human protection really looks like. This time, we won't hide who we are. Min Ho nodded, sending the data. The Concordat had failed to learn from history. Now humans would teach the galaxy a better way. Colonel Sujin Ryu stood on the bridge of her stealth ship, watching the liberation of the Meridian homeworld. The bird-like Meridians had suffered under Concordat rule for centuries. Now they were breaking their chains. Another Concordat defense station has surrendered, her tactical officer reported. The Meridian resistance fighters are moving in. Su Jin smiled. After humans revealed the Concordat's true nature, suppressed species across the galaxy had risen up. Humanity provided them with weapons and training, but let them fight their own battles for freedom. Message from the Meridian resistance leader, the communications officer announced. A hologram appeared, showing Leader Kerr, his feathers shimmering with pride. Colonel Ryu, we cannot thank humanity enough. For centuries, we thought we were alone in seeing the Concordat's evil. You were never alone, Sujin replied. We just had to wait for the right moment to help. How are your people handling the new weapons? Very well. The Concordat never knew we were practicing in secret, just like humans did. Kerr's beaked face showed what passed for a smile among his kind. They thought they were watching us. They never realized we were watching them back. Suddenly, alarms blared. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. The tactical officer shouted, "It's the Concordat's third fleet." The massive crystal ships appeared, their weapons charging. But Su Jin remained calm. Signal the Meridian fighters to fall back. It's time for the next lesson. The Concordat fleet commander's voice boomed across all channels. Rebellious species, submit now or be destroyed. The natural order must be maintained. Su Jin pressed a button on her command chair. Around the planet, dozens of hidden human ships appeared, their advanced weapons ready. There is a new order now, she replied calmly. One where species help each other instead of controlling each other. You cannot protect everyone. The Concordat commander snarled. Our empire spans the galaxy. We don't need to protect everyone, Su Jin said. We just needed to show them they could protect themselves. As if to prove her words, hundreds of ships appeared behind the Concordat fleet. Ships of different designs, crewed by various species who had all suffered under Concordat rule. The hunters were now surrounded by their former prey. You see, Su Jin continued, while you were watching humans, we were reaching out to others in secret, teaching them, helping them prepare. Every species you tried to control is now ready to fight back. The Meridian fighters moved with perfect discipline, using tactics humans had taught them. Other resistance ships joined in, each using the unique strengths of their species. The mighty Concordat fleet found itself under attack from all sides. This is impossible, the Concordat commander shouted as his ships began falling. You're all primitive species. No, Su Jin corrected him. We're species who learned to work together, who chose to help each other instead of controlling each other. That's something you never understood. The battle was swift. The Concordat fleet, faced with the combined might of their former victims, had no choice but to surrender. As Su Jin watched the crystal ships power down, she received messages from across the galaxy. More species were rising up. More chains were breaking. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was helping guide that change, not through force, but through cooperation, just as they had always hoped to do. Chief Diplomat Yi Jun-song stood in the Great Hall of the new Galactic Council. The crystal walls, once symbols of Concordat power, now shone with the combined lights of 100 free species. 1 year had passed since the revolution began, and today they would create something new. The old council room looks different, Ambassador Hae-Nul Kim said, standing beside him. Better. Yi Jun nodded. Where the Concordat once sat high above others, the new chamber had seats arranged in a circle. No species would stand above another here. Representatives are arriving, his assistant reported. Everyone is ready to begin. The chamber filled with beings of all kinds. The bird-like Meridians flew to their seats. The crystal beings who had broken away from the Concordat glowed softly. Species that were once enemies now sat together, talking quietly. Ye Jun walked to the center of the circle. As the human representative, he had been asked to speak first. Not because humans were stronger, but because they had shown a different way. Friends, he began, his voice carrying clearly. 1 year ago, the galaxy lived in fear. The Concordat claimed they were protecting us. In truth, they were controlling us. He looked around the room, meeting the eyes and equivalent organs of each species. Humans hid our true strength not from fear, but from wisdom. We remembered our own history. We knew that power without restraint leads to tyranny. The room was silent, everyone listening carefully. But we made a mistake too, Yi-Jun continued. In hiding our strength, we allowed others to suffer. Today, we create something new. Not an empire, but a true council. Not rulers, but partners. He gestured to the walls, where images showed ships of different species working together to rebuild damaged worlds. Already, we see what cooperation can achieve. Meridian speed combined with human weapons. Crystal beam technology powered by the energy skills of the Solari. We are stronger together than we ever were apart. Admiral Kang stood next to him, placing a data crystal on the central table. This contains humanity's hidden technological advances. We share it freely, asking only that you join us in using power wisely. Leader Kier of the Meridian stepped forward. We too have secrets to share. Technologies we developed in secret while pretending to be simple. One by one, other species came forward, offering their own hidden knowledge. Each had developed in secret. Each had learned to hide their strength. Now they could finally share openly. The Concordat feared our differences, Yi-Jun said. They tried to control what they didn't understand. But our differences make us stronger. Our unique views help us see better ways forward. He pressed a button, and the chamber's lights changed to show a map of the galaxy. Look at what we've achieved in 1 year. Freed worlds, new trade routes, species helping each other grow instead of holding each other back. And those who still believe in the Concordat's way? Someone asked. We will defend ourselves and others if needed. Admiral Kang answered. But we will always ask nicely first, always give a chance for peace. That is the human way, the way we hope others will choose too. Yi-Jun smiled. The universe learned why humans kept saying, please don't make us mad. But they also learned something more important, why we always tried to solve things peacefully first. Because working together is better than fighting. Understanding is better than fear. As the new Galactic Council began its first session, Yi-Jun knew the future would not be perfect. There would be challenges, but they would face them together as equals. The galaxy had learned its lesson, and a new age had begun.